Hey guys, Boomheadshot834 here. I just wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about my life lately, hence the title of the video. But mostly I wanted to talk to you guys about what happened throughout the last year or so. That's, you know. But yeah, 2016 to start out was a really rough year for me because started out with my aunt. Well, actually it was she's my grandma's sister, but I knew her well enough that I called her my aunt. She passed away of a heart attack um, May 23rd of 2016, and that was probably the hardest thing that I had dealt with, like with somebody passing away. I've never had a family member that was that close to me, I guess, pass away, and it hit hard, especially seeing my grandma as upset as she was, and my pap was really upset. But to start off my year a little bit before that, my pap got sick with, like a cold, I guess. It wasn't really a cold, it was, he had fluid built up in his lungs. I can't ever remember what that's called. But he had that, which, it's whatever. Everybody can get that. It's sort of a kind of common thing. But it didn't go away for a while, and it stayed that way. And after my aunt passed away, he went to the doctors for it. Actually, it was not too long after my aunt passed away. He went to the doctors for it, and they found an aortic aneurysm, like, I don't know, right about here in his chest. And they sort of told him that our vacation plans for that year should, be kind of trashed because they told him if he went, he probably had a good chance of not coming back. That too much strain could make it pop, and he could, die in minutes, I guess. I don't know. It was pretty large, I guess. I mean, I never really saw it, but I just never saw pictures or x-rays of it, but it was, I heard it was pretty decent size, or at least that's what I was told. It was a pretty decent size. And they told him if he didn't be careful with what he was doing and take his time on everything, that he could put too much strain on it and it could pop and he would not be here within minutes. And so that sort of went on for a while, and by June, uh, the end of June, beginning of August-ish, or somewhere in there, he went and had surgery on it, and got that all fixed. And after he had surgery done, uh, they were doing x-rays and stuff to make sure everything went well. All the equipment that they used and put in his aorta to keep it from expanding more was actually working, and just stuff like that. And while they were doing that, they found a black spot in my pap's lung, and they weren't quite sure what it was at first, but after a little more testing, within a week or two, my pap was diagnosed with lung cancer. Um, Later, they was told that it was stage 4 lung cancer. So we figured that out, or well, we found that out about the end of August, and around then, everything just sort of fell apart, um, even more than it already had. But yeah. So So after that, my grandma and pap were back and forth between their house and Geisinger Medical Center in Pennsylvania, which is about an hour and a half away every Thursday from the end of August, beginning of September until around the end of November, beginning of December ish, I guess, getting his treatments done. And during that time, my pap had a few complications, I guess. He had his lungs filled with liquid a couple times, I guess, and they put drain tubes in his chest and drained that out. And he stayed in the hospital for a week or two, and then he came home. And a week later, he was back at the hospital for kind of the same thing, except this time it filled up in a sac around his heart, like the sac around your heart. And if he didn't, and he was having trouble breathing and stuff, and so they went back to the hospital, got that drained and taken care of. He was in the hospital for another week and a half or so, and they just kind of kept him there for a while, and he was sort of just in and out of the hospital for a long time with things like that. And around the middle of November, I guess, I think it was, I don't quite remember exactly, but I think it was around the middle of November that he had a blockage. They found a blockage in his bowels, so he couldn't go to the restroom. Like he could urinate, but he couldn't like poop and stuff. So they put a drain tube down through his nose into his stomach and pumped his stomach after he ate. And I mean, a little while after he ate, so his body could get nutrients or whatever. But not too long after that, um, around the beginning of December, like very end of November, um, doctors told him and my gram that there wasn't much else that they could do, if anything, and if they wanted to keep trying to fight it, that they could. But ultimately, it was up to my pap, and that's the way my gram said it. That she left it up to pap whether or not he wanted to keep trying. And I guess my pap decided that he was just done and done trying to fight it. And he ended up, just coming home, and he wasn't very well off. I guess should say, or I guess I should say. Um, he was having trouble for a while, and he was in bed all the time. He could get up and walk, but everybody had to be with him. Um, my aunt and my gram, well, my aunt stayed with my gram and pap that whole time, and they slept in the living room on chair and couch. My pap slept in his hospital bed that they sent home, and we pumped his stomach twice, I guess, a day or so, or more. I don't know. When I was there with him, I only saw it done twice, a day. I helped him with it and everything like that. So, yeah, there's that. And, just some other stuff that was going on was with my pap and stuff. He was having a lot of trouble with the drain tube in his nose. It fell out twice. We went and got it put back in and stuff like that. And it was just scary. I guess that's how you could say it. It was all really scary to see, I just don't understand why it had to happen the way it did. All my pap ever did was help people, but yeah, I guess everything happens for a reason. But from then on, um, he started getting a little worse and worse every day. And December 13th of 2016, I remember that morning I went to see him before school, and he was sleeping. My gram walked in. We sat beside my pap while he was sleeping, and we were talking quietly so we didn't wake him up. I remember this like it was just yesterday. And my gram looked at me and said that the nurse said that he could wake up and be feeling just fine, or he could wake up and not feel really good at all and be, not good. And he woke up and wasn't feeling okay. And, um, was talking to everybody for a while, and I was gonna go over after work because I worked that night, and we had a big snowstorm, like a really big snowstorm, and I remember my gram texted me at about 7 o'clock. I got off work at 8. She texted me at 7 o'clock, just said just go home tonight and come down tomorrow and see us. And I remember I just said okay, I'll be down like really early tomorrow morning to see you guys. And I went home after work and started shoveling the sidewalk and our driveway and stuff like that. Just trying to keep my mind off of things. And then I decided after seeing somebody try to struggle to get up the alley that we live on, or well, my dad lives on. After seeing them trying to struggle to get up the alley, I decided to go shovel the ends of the alley so you could just get a little bit of grip getting up the road and beginning of the road and stuff and get some momentum going. And I was at the far end of the alley shoveling the ends because I just didn't want to sit down and have my mind running over for things like people do, overthink everything and stuff like that. And after while I was doing that, my dad called me and asked where I was, and I said I was at home, and he said all right. And I remember like 5 minutes later, my stepmom came home really quickly, got out of her Jeep, ran in the house, and I didn't think much of it at the time because I didn't know they were with my grandpap, and she ended up calling me and asking where the hell I was because I wasn't in the house. I said I'm up at the other end of the alley, just shoveling out the alley so people can make it through with like their cars and stuff. She said, "All right, get down here quick. We need to go back to we need to go to your grandpap's house." And I remember running down the alley, and it was all covered in snow, so most of the way I just kind of slid. I remember getting down to my house and walking up to my stepmom was standing there, and she gave me a hug and said, um, she said, I'm sorry, but she said, I'm sorry, but your pap passed away tonight. And the whole ride from my house to my grandpa's house, which is probably about a 5 minute drive, was just kind of a little silent, but we were talking, and I mean, I don't know. I don't remember what exactly we talked about. I just remember I just didn't believe it. I didn't want to believe it. And then I remember getting to my grandpa's house and everybody was there. My dad, mom, my stepdad, my uncle Jerry from my grand's brother, Jerry, and my other Uncle Jerry was there. And I just remember looking in the dining room, which is right off the living room where my pap was. Like they're connected by a big open arch thing, and I remember looking in there and I saw my gram sitting on a chair beside my pap holding his hand. And I walked in and sat down beside my gram, and she looked at me and just started crying again. And at that point, that's when I knew it was true. That's that's the point that I realized that it was really true that my pap was no longer with us. That he made the journey to somewhere better. But still to this day, 2 months or so later, almost 3 months now, it's still hard to believe. I'll show up to my Gram's house sometimes and just look at her and not even remember and just ask her where Pap is. Or I'll be at her house and she'll be working and she'll look around and look at me and she's like, "Where's Pap?" And you can tell as soon as she says it, she realizes. And it's just hard. You never actually realize what people go through until. Well, you never really realize what people go through when they lose a family member until you lose a family member, until it happens to you. And it sucks. It really does. It's not an easy thing to deal with, and it shouldn't be an easy thing to deal with, but it's just really hard to wrap my head around why it happened to my pap. However, all he ever did was help people and worked hard and did what he had to do, and that's what happened to him. Yeah, but I miss him all the time. I don't think there's a day that goes by, an hour, a minute, second, whatever. I don't think there's any time that I don't miss him a lot. He means the absolute world to me. He always did. Even if I didn't always tell him that, which I kind of regret now. But yeah, I guess everything kind of happens for whatever sick and twisted reason that God may ever have. He decided he needed him back up there. But yeah. Sorry if I made anybody that watches this video upset. I just felt like I needed to get it out there. And that's about it for today, guys. Sorry the upload schedule's all out of whack. I've been really busy with work and school and other things. But sorry if this kind of turned into a sob story. It's not what I meant it to be, but yeah. Thank you guys for watching. You all really mean the world to me. Um, I know I don't have a huge subscriber base. I'm not even gonna call it a fan base. I wouldn't call you guys fans. It's not like I'm a famous person or anything like that. You just watch my videos and whatnot. But I know I don't have a huge subscriber base. I don't. This video is not intended to make you guys upset and whatnot. But this video is intended just to let you guys know about my life lately over the past year or so, and just to tell you all how I've been doing, and yeah, that's about it. But I love each and every one of you for watching my videos, getting any kind of enjoyment out of my videos and whatnot. But I mean, it really does mean the world to me. You guys are awesome, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.